We now get underway with a very, very lengthy afternoon session for the qualifying heats for the 2020 Rotax Max Challenge Winter Cup here in Spain. It's race 10 of the meeting, heat 5 for senior Rotax, groups D and E. On pole position will be Ben Kaisley, and alongside will be Zombar Kovac. Kian Shields and Ehad Turka on row 2. Miles Apps and Kai Hunter, row 3. Mark Kimber and Luca Leistra, row 4. Bradley Barrett and Mark Kamahata rounding out the top 10. Paul Fokkema and Tom Adams round out row number 6 ahead of Teresa Babikova, Rasmus Friedel. And then we have Anthony Boulou, Max Stemmerdink, Lucas Thompson, Kilian Gerhardt. Then we've got Diogo Marquez from Portugal, Flint Schuring from the Netherlands, Una Oksanen, Kim Leon Kublik, Marin Crespo, Cisneros Salas, Finchtiak, Denis Oliveira and Antoine Antier rounding out the 27 strong. So this time again it will be 10 minutes plus an additional lap here at the 1,580 metre circuit. Based here just an hour or so north of Malaga International Airport. So it will be down to both Ben Kaisley and Zombar Kovac to control the field, as we've got yellow flags off of turn 13 to slow the field down. But nice spot there, Sarah. We've got a driver out of the kart off of turn number 4 going up the hill, and that's a Tony Kart race suit I've spotted at the top there. So we're already down to 27 drivers at the moment as the field now starts to slowly creep its way through turn 16. So the kart has been moved out of the way very shortly. Well, we're under starters' orders. The drivers make their way into the tram lines. The Rotax Max Evo engines roar into life. We go, lights out, heading into turn 1, and there is some side pod banging, heading from around about 4th position onwards as they go into T1. It's all kicking off in seniors. We've had 2 off, 1 off into the gravel and on beached on the side of the grass bank off of turn 1. So drama for one of the competitors as the field makes their way, and it's 3 abreast through turn 5. Up into 6 and 7, into 8. There are drivers tripping all over each other. And again, we said that senior Rotax was going to be interesting. Well, it's far from it. It's rather exciting as the top 3 line astern. As Shields is now fending off Miles Apps, I believe. And that is the case in the 354. Now up into 3rd position. And that was Marin Crespo in the 367. That was the kart that did not make the start on that particular occasion. And there's more tussling going into turn 16. It was 3 wide coming out of the corner. And that was, I think, I'm just going to keep an eye on who is out in front. And that is the 395 of Kai Hunter, who's made his way up into now 4th position, having started 6th on the grid. But the lead battle quite clearly on. It's Kaisley versus Shields heading into turn 5. And we've seen that there has been a danger point where drivers have tried to make the move into turn 6 and it hasn't worked out well. Maxim Turyev was one of those drivers that found that out earlier on this afternoon. So go down the hill into turn 11. Kai Hunter really wrestling the kart right on the back bumper of Miles Apps coming into turn 11 down the back straightaway, and he goes towards the inside run, gets up the inside of Apps to take 3rd position. And then Teresa Babikova and Rasmus Friedel a line astern down in 7th and 8th position, as Kimber now in 9th at the moment as the 2 leaders go through turn 16. The top 12 literally getting so concertina they could be with each other very much at the same point, as there's a massive melee of karts trying to get past one another, trying to put one up on each other, and that is being led by the 316, and that is a Flint Schuring. Schuring started in 20th position, and also Luca Leistra has also retired after on lap 1, it looks like. So Luca Leistra was the driver that ended up beached on the grassy bank off of the gravel and managed to rejoin, but had to decided I'm going to live to fight another day. So Luca Leistra from Belgium with Bouvin Power on the back foot in the qualifying heat stages. And there is an absolute strain from Miles Apps as the 371 as Zombo Kovac goes up the inside of Kai Hunter for third position. And it looks like that Paul Fokkeman has just been passed by Makamahata going into turns 13 and 14. So from 5th to around about 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th, that's 13th position. Battling line astern. That train is being led by Miles Apps with Mark Kimber just behind in the 387. Bradley Barrett from Sodi Vitesse. Teresa Babikova from Strawberry Racing. Rasmus Friedel and Ehad Turka round out the top 10. And there's more changes. Someone's thrown it round the outside of turn 3. Whoever that was absolutely unsighted by me as a potential overtaking opportunity. But there is room to do that. And I think that might have been possibly Dan Holland Racing colours. I think I might have seen going around the outside of turn 3. But the lead is still being contested by Messrs Casely and Shields. They both had a lot of experience in karting. Kian Shields quite recently was actually racing in Valencia 2 weeks ago. As there's a nice little bit of a dice between the likes of, I think I saw the 341 there, or 347, that's Tom Adams, stuck a little bit further down the order than he probably would like, as it's 3 wide at the back part of the field, heading down into turn 15 and 16, and 2 abreast at the tail end, Charlie of it. So we're fast approaching the halfway point of this race, and Ben Casely is fending off Kian Shields like his life depended on it. Mark Kimber's got past Miles Apps for 5th position. Ehad Turka has passed Teresa Babikova for P9. Other changes, Tom Adams is ahead of Una Oksana, now up into 21st as the Brit, just behind Kim Leon Kublik from Germany. Jose Luis Sinero Salas now in 19th position in the 308. Marquez in the 369 is in 17th behind Max Stemerdink. Bilou and Fokima now make it a French 11th, 12th and 13th, which is headed up by Makamahata. Max Stemerdink up into 16th position. Rasmus Fritel up into 8th place. And the top 9 separated by just 3 seconds as the battle royale at the front of the field is fast becoming a 6-way fight for the lead. If Kimber and Apps, they've got to work together. They've got time to push their way forward and work together. They might be on opposing teams, but their strategy will call them into making a decision. Do I attack the person in front or do I work with them? Because now Zombar Kovac has got a ringside seat at the fight in front. That is Ben Casely still leading. Kian Shields in second, followed by Kovac, Kai Hunter, Mark Kimber, Miles Apps, Bradley Barrett, Rasmus Friedel. Teresa Babikova now gets past Ehad Turka for 9th place. And that basically puts... that is 6 Brits in the top 10 on this particular race itself. We've got just under 4 minutes plus an additional lap still left to run. 2 confirmed retirements. Marin Cresmo not even making the start. Luca Leistra having a turn 1 incident and ending up retiring as a result, with the 358 of Finch Diak being the last driver that is still circulating. 25 senior Rotax drivers still racing here at Wintercup Campillos. Kian Shields. And now the top 6 separated by just 1.1 seconds. With at the end of it is Miles Apps and Mark Kimber. And Kimber's now that's really changed the dynamic. Kovac has really lost, is got up into second. Kai Hunter into third. Looks like Kian Shields drops down to P4 as they go through. And Mark Kimber is there with the young Scottish driver as well. But at the moment, Mark Kimber is behind Kian Shields. He's in, and Shields is now going to come under offensive, and he gets overtaken by Mark Kimber. The pair goes side by side, heading into turn 13. Kimber's got the inside run. Shields slots in from behind. And then also Miles Apps has waged into this British 3-way scrap as they go into turn 16. That's for 4th to 6th position. And just behind them is Bradley Barrett for Suri Vitesse. More changes once again a little bit further down the order. And it is all going haywire. The 3:09 of Rasmus Friedel is chasing down Teresa Babikova from Strawberry Racing. Ehad Turka down still in 10th position. But Ben Kaisley now has an advantage of around 0.4 of a second, and he'll probably be pretty pleased to see that he's got KR Sport colours in the form of Zombar Kovac behind him. So still plenty of things left to happen. Kian Shields down in 6th. Let's have a look at a little bit of a replay of the action so far in this race, thanks to our stream director. So you can just see the brilliant dueling between both Kian Shields and Mark Kimber. And Kimber sends it up the inside. Apps tries to go through and manages to get past Shields for 5th position. But whilst they've been battling, the lap time says it all. A 1 minute 6.1 for Kian Shields. And behind him is Bradley Barrett, who did a 1 minute 4.4. So Bradley Barrett is looking for a potential top 6, maybe even a top 5 finish if he's lucky. So we'll see what happens as everything goes a little bit further into the tail end of this race. 1 minute 13 plus an additional lap left to go. Ben Kaisley has a 2.5 of a second lead over Kovac. Kai Hunter now smells a little blood in the water. Does the 3:95 with Dan Holland Racing. He's closing on the 2 in front. Top 3 were separated by less than half a second. Kian Shields now 2 seconds off of the leader down in 6th, ahead of Bradley Barrett, Teresa Babikova, Ehad Turka. Bilou rounds out the top 10, having got past Rasmus Friedel. Forkeman and Kamahata round out the top 13, with the top 15 completed by Schuring and Geha. In the 3:16 and the 3:06, Max Stemmerdink just outside of the top 16. Top 15, he's about 1.7 seconds away from that battle, as Hunter now swarming over the back bumper of Zsombor Kovac. It's a double toe for the Brit as we go on to the penultimate lap of this exciting 10th race of the meeting. Black and white warning flag shown to the number 312, and that is Lucas Thompson, all the way down back in 22nd position. Finstiak gets up into 24th position. We are on the penultimate lap. Leaders now coming through into the right-hander at 9. Down the hill into 10. Slight kink into the left-hander at turn 11 before blasting their way down to turn 12. And Hunter is right on the back bumper of Kovac, who closes up to Kaisley in the braking zone of turn 12. But now Hunter has that opportunity. He's sort of like bump drafting Kovac into turn 16. He's going to wait, but I think he's going to do something as we're about to hit the final lap in this race. What a job from Ben Kaisley at the moment to keep leading, but the win is still under contention. Mark Kimber has been closing quickly, and he's the fastest out of the top 6. Kian Shields puts in his best lap of the race. The fastest lap of everybody is Ehad Turka. A 1 minute 3.961 as the leaders go into turn 6 for the final time, into the slight dip, up the hill through 7, now into the right at 8, through down towards the hill and hit the descent that takes them through turn 9. A bit more of a descent down into the right at 10, into 11. Kamahata has got past Fokima for 12th place as the leaders come through into turn 12 for the final time. Mark Kimber is going to be an opportunist if he wants to be, but I think he's going to play it safe with a top 5 finish at this particular moment in time as the leaders now come through into turn 16 for the final time. A couple of corners to go. Oh, there was a jump for the lead there. Zsombor Kovac, I think, got it. He stole it from Ben Kaisley on the penultimate corner of the race and managed to get past. Or who got it? Who got it? Ben Kaisley did not get it. He missed out by a winning margin of 65 thousandths of a second. Zsombor Kovac stole that well and truly at the right moment. Came through turn 16 and 17. Let's have a look at this, shall we? Because this was an impressive move from Hungary's Zsombor Kovac. So you can just see as they're coming through 16, Kaisley goes wide, Kovac sends it, absolutely sends it. 2 wheels on the curb, but makes the move, makes it clean, and does a great job there. Zsombor Kovac wins the Heat 5 in senior Rotax qualifying stages ahead of Ben Kaisley. Then it was Kai Hunter, who started down in 6th, finished in 3rd place. Mark Kimber 7th, finished 4th. Miles Apps finished exactly where he qualified ahead of Kian Shields, who started on the inside of row number 3, in the inside of row number 2 on P3, ahead of Bradley Barrett. Teresa Babikova, Ehad Turka Bilou was in 10th, ahead of Rasmus Friedel. Kamahata, Fokema, Flintschuring, Gerhard, Stemerdink, Sinero Salas recovered to 17th. Marquez, Tom Adams, Una Oksanen rounds out the top 20 with Antoine Ontier, Lucas Thompson, Kim Leon Kublik. We also had Finchdiak and Dennis Oliveira, the last of the 25 finishers in that race, with Luca Leistra and also Angel Marin Crespo not finishing the race itself.